This summer season for Bengaluru and Karnataka as a whole, with state-owned borewells drying up and water tankers fleecing thirsty residents, the Karnataka government has decided to take over private commercial borewells, water tankers and even irrigation borewells to quench the drinking water needs of Bengaluru and other parched parts of the state. The state government says there is enough water reserves for drinking water, but it is bracing to quench a thirsty state in what seems like a tough and hot summer ahead. Pratibha Raman with the details.
As the water shortage deepens in Bengaluru, the Karnataka government has now decided to take over private water tankers, commercial borewells and even irrigation wells. These water tankers have been supplying water sourced from borewells to different households in the city at exorbitant prices, and the aim of taking them over is to ensure that water isn't just a rich person's luxury, says the government.
In order to streamline this water crisis, I'm just trying to take over. We will see that there will be an equal share of everything and they should not exploit the situation.
Cost of the 5,000-litre water tanker earlier stood at 500 rupees. It has now surged to 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. Over 4,000 tankers operate in the city. Around 14,000 borewells in Bengaluru and approximately 7,000 have dried up. 854 crore rupees issued to district officials, says CM Siddaramaiah. Another 70 crore rupees for new borewells wherever necessary.
One load ge 500 now ivaga one load ge 3 load water cost ನಾವು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ 1500 2000 ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ 2000 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು 1500 ಅದು 3-4 ಡೇಸ್ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಈ ತರ ನೀರಿಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹೆವಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
The Bengaluru Water Supply Board has mandated these private water tankers to register themselves on the municipal corporation's portal so they can carry government certification. While the government is planning to introduce a standard price, apartment complexes that are willing to pay the price are complaining of water shortage, with tankers being diverted. With camera persons Kumar and Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
So how will Bengaluru survive this summer? Remember, it's a genuine concern for citizens in the city, but it has to expand as a conversation across the state. I hope to be joined by someone from a Residents Welfare Association, Sashi Kumar, but we're trying to get that line through. I also have with me water conservationist S. Vishwanath, who've spoken to us on this issue before. Mr. Vishwanath, the first big concern is, as far as Bengaluru city itself is concerned, we're talking of large residential colonies, large residential localities. Often it's the affluent who use excessive water compared to what happens in, let's say, lower income areas. What would be your first advice to citizens in Bengaluru in terms of water conservation?
Well, tighten your belt. Live within the means, put in water aerators, recycle, reduce, reuse as far as possible. Make sure that you do not consume more than 70 liters per capita per day. That's for the residents. But also for the residents, think of the future. Think of recharging your aquifers. There's a rainwater harvesting law which is mandatory. Are you practicing it? Are you filling your aquifers? Then to the state, look at our lakes. Protect our lakes. Make sure that they're filled with rainwater and tertiary treated wastewater when it's the non-rainy season. Groundwater has been completely unmanaged in Bangalore, and unless we get a groundwater management plan, we will see this in the periphery in future also.
Right. So those are important points, but I'm going to get you on an FAQ kind of question for several residents. Obviously, use of washing machines, for instance, is something that uses enormous amount of water in this scarce situation. Now, we may or may not get rains in March, but it's time for residents to start being sensitive and sensitized towards what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. Often they talk about not watering lawns, etc. But which are the other things that we obviously miss as, in larger residential colonies?
Well, one of them is reuse of RO water rejects, which is a common appliance everywhere in most houses, pick up those RO water rejects and use that for floor swabbing and all non-potable uses. Second, use the washing machine itself at full load. There are water efficient washing machines which do the job at 40 liters. So use water efficient machines. Make sure that your kitchen wash water is recycled and put in for the plants and pots if it's possible. So be aware of water use and make sure that you're really mindful of its scarcity value right now.
Okay. Sir, I also want to ask you this in terms of the borewell situation in Bengaluru. We believe 40% of the government-owned borewells have dried up. Do you see it getting much worse given that we are just heading into March? There's also Met Department predictions that this could be a hotter summer than the average.
Absolutely. Borewells and groundwater will be in a crisis in the coming 100 days till the monsoons come and till the lakes fill up. Borewells will only plummet because we don't have any additional recharge happening to the aquifers. One quick way out of it is to use our STPs, the 34 STPs that are there in Bangalore, treating about 1,050 million liters per day, to use the treated wastewater to fill the lakes to recharge the aquifer. That is the only way out till the rains come.
Right. And we are entirely dependent as far as water concerned, not entirely, at least largely dependent on the Kaveri water. Just give us a brief overview of the reservoir positions in Karnataka overall.
So till the next 100 days, we will need the equivalent of 10.8 TMC feet of water. That includes the additional 775 million liters per day, which will come in May, hopefully. Currently, we have a position of about 44 TMC feet in the entire 4 reservoirs, so it should not be a concern. But we'll have to think of getting the water to Torekad in Halli, the place where we pump water to Bangalore, through pipes from Kabini Reservoir at least, so that there's no loss on the way due to evaporation and recharge in the river itself. We'll have to start thinking from source to our tap, and then from our tap to where the wastewater goes.
Right. Right. You have to start thinking from source to tap. Obviously, there are long-term concerns which we'll have to address in a systemic way. Thank you, as always, Mr. Vishwanath, for laying that reality out and the solutions as well.